Meet Clara. Last year, she was a fourth grade student who was reading at a level C and functioned at a beginning of the year first grade level in math. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit her inner city location, her school closed down in early March. Clara lives with her sickly grandmother in a high poverty community. When her teacher set up a Google Classroom in April, she was not able to continue her learning due to having no access to technology devices, smartphones, or Wi-Fi capability. Clara's teachers would call the house phone to try and guide her through completing her work packet. Unfortunately, this led to numerous meltdowns from frustration. Fast forward to the following fall. Clara received a laptop and hotspot that was provided by her public school. Since she did not have prior access to this digital tool, she didn't know how to use it. Her teacher visited her house, set up the laptop, and showed her how to access Google Classroom. Since she didn't have support to help her at home, Clara's computer stayed in the corner untouched, and she continued to work with her teachers over the phone. Digital citizenship begins with digital access. Without access to technology, instruction on the 9 elements as described by Mark Ribble remain foreign and often pointless concepts to students in similar positions like Clara. Due to funding, Clara's school did not have technology encore classes, and her classroom only had 4 outdated desktop computers. As an emergent reader, she required direction from a teaching assistant to navigate the programs that the class used. Since technology literacy is developed through school technology instruction and is picked up from family and friends, Clara is at a disadvantage because her school doesn't have the budget to provide the instruction, and there's no money to purchase the digital tools or a knowledgeable person to learn from at home. According to usafacts.org, the Household Pulse Survey determined that 8% of households with children ages 3 to 18 had access to computers sometimes, rarely, or never. While 8% seems like a small amount, it actually represents 4.4 million households. Of that 4.4 million who didn't have regular access to computers, 3.7 million didn't have the ability to access the internet. This means that there are millions of students in the United States who face similar barriers to receiving their education during this pandemic as Clara. Pandemic aside, this data reflects prior existing limitations for students regarding access to technology and digital literacy. The hardest hit demographics are students of color, those in rural locations, and students in high poverty communities. Meet Cliff. Cliff is a high school student who has a laptop, Wi-Fi, and a smartphone. He is obsessed with being on social media. He often sees his friends and family posting about parties they attended and making negative comments about peers, photos, and status updates. They find it funny when they stir the pot and watch people get angry as a result. One day, Cliff receives a provocative picture from a classmate, Jane, who likes him. Cliff takes a screenshot of it to show his friends, since they've shared similar photos with him before, and he thought they would be jealous. Unfortunately, his friends started passing the image to other classmates through text, ultimately ending up with a photo posted on a social media site with Jane tagged to it. As a result, Jane began being teased at school and received hateful and threatening messages through text, email, and direct messaging. Cliff feels bad that all of this is happening to Jane because he shared her photo, and he's worried about her, but doesn't know how to help or make it stop. Cliff's story reflects the need for exposure to multiple digital citizenship elements, including digital literacy, digital rights and responsibilities, digital etiquette, and potentially digital law. Receiving digital citizenship instruction at school could have potentially reduced the likelihood of Cliff and Jane's story happening. Cliff is learning and picking up improper use of technology from his family and friends as he observes them sharing inappropriate photos with each other and their enjoyment of flaming. Depending on Jane's age, Cliff could be at risk of being charged with distribution of child pornography by sharing the picture with his friends. It is Cliff's responsibility to not only keep himself safe, but Jane as well. While Jane is free to make her own choices regarding how she uses technology and keeps herself safe, he should not exacerbate the situation by sharing her revealing picture. His choice led to peers cyberbullying Jane, which makes it 2 times more likely that she will commit acts of self-harm or suicide. The responsible thing for Cliff to do to help Jane is to report the cyberbullying to a trusted adult.